go grab your nonstick pan and take a look at it. Are there scratches on it? Are there areas on the surface that look like they're discolored or look like they're burned away? And is there even like this clear gunk around the outside of your pans? Hey guys, it's Kim, your Millennials Mom, here with tips and advice for mastering your home and navigating your life. And today I want to talk with you about 6 ways to care for and not thrash your nonstick pan. The first way to care for a nonstick pan, and this is pretty obvious, is that you don't want to scratch it. And generally speaking, metal will scratch your pan. So you want to avoid knives of any kind, spatulas that are metal or have scratchy front ends on it, and also a whisk. All these things that are metal have the possibility of scratching your pan. So you want to be really careful with that. What I would recommend instead to you is plastic types of utensils, and particularly these silicone ones are awesome. They're not expensive and they will go up to they'll cook up to like 400 degrees or 450. They're basically super, super good with hot temperatures, and they are so soft. This material is so rubbery that it's almost impossible for them to scratch your pans. Now, one thing that I can tell you, and even if I were to show you this pan, over time, you're going to get scratches. I don't know anybody, including me, that hasn't over time gotten a few scratches on your coated nonstick pans. But you know, general rule is if you keep the metal out of it, it'll last a lot longer than it normally would. Another thing that you don't want to do on your nonstick pan is use that coating spray. What that stuff has in it is a product called soy lecithin. And when it gets hot on your pan, that's the stuff that tends to build up and get kind of gunky around the outside. Now, I was like, okay, I won't use those sprays. I'll just use my coconut oil spray that I got at Trader Joe's. And it's not just Trader Joe's, they're everywhere. But anyway, I looked up the ingredients on it, and even it has soy lecithin in it. So what the experts say to do is to add a light little polishing of oil or even some butter on the bottom of the pan, and then heat it up, or you can even add it when you want to. You don't want to add a lot of oil. You don't need to on pans like this. I just keep thinking about pancakes. If you add a whole bunch of like oil or anything that's too greasy, it's just going to end up getting absorbed by the pancake. So bottom line, no cooking sprays. So I have been cooking for 35 plus years, and I only found out about 6 or 7 years ago that you're never supposed to go above a medium heat on your stovetop with one of these pans. What happens is it'll deteriorate the surface or create some cracks in the coating. The other thing is if you get this pan really hot and you go up to like anywhere between 450 to 600 degrees, I've been told, it starts emitting toxins. So the bottom line is you don't want to go super hot on the pan. Here's the secret about most foods. Most foods on the stovetop do not need to be cooked above a medium heat. There's only certain instances where you need to get a pan super hot, and if you're going to do that, you want to just use a metal surface like a stainless steel type pan, not one of these guys. Now, for what it's worth, I've had expensive stovetops like ranges that were like Viking that have really heavy grates on them. And then there's other stovetops that just have smaller, lighter grates. And for me, in my experience, the heavier grates and those kinds of larger commercial style stoves, they burn a lot hotter. So you've got to really watch your temperatures depending on what kind of stovetop that you have. Now, this next one might surprise you, but you're never supposed to put a nonstick pan in your dishwasher. I'm so sorry. The hot water that's in there and the harsh detergents will deteriorate the surface of your pan very, very rapidly. What you just want to use is soap and water at your sink. I recommend one of these soft scrubbers or a sponge, anything that says non-scratch on it. If you use like a stiff brush or even steel wool, it will scratch the surface even though you necessarily can't see it. Now, If you end up with that gunk that I talked about with the soy lecithin, I am told, and I found out online, that you can actually fill it with water, put it on your stovetop, and add some vinegar to it, and just bring it to a boil. And it says that soy lecithin, that gunk, will actually float to the top. I haven't tried it myself because I don't have any gunk on my pans, but it's worth a try if you do get that on there. And then once it comes off, you just soap and water it. Number 6 is, if you're going to buy an inexpensive pan, which is totally fine, I just want you to know 2 things. Number 1, you want to avoid really drastic temperature changes. So if you have it on the stove, don't run it under really cold water. Let it cool down a little bit. When you have those real drastic temperature changes, it'll sort of warp the pan. And then the second thing you want to know is you want to be really careful with acidic foods. So if you're cooking with like tomato sauce or lemon, you want to wash those off as quickly as possible because they will deteriorate the coating as well. One final thing is that these non-stick pans are not meant to last forever. The average lifespan of a pan like this is supposed to be somewhere between 2 to 5 years. And man, if you've gone beyond 5 years and your pan's in great shape, you have done a bang-up job on taking care of it. Just know, for that reason, I just don't want to spend a ton of money on a non-stick pan unless I'm cooking at a really high level, gourmet style. I would say go with a moderate priced pan, use it for 2 to 5, and then move on to the next one. Hey, there's a 7th one I completely forgot to tell you about, and that is when you go to stack your nonstick pans, you totally want to put something in between them and don't just stack them in each other or they'll really get scratched up. You can throw a paper towel in there, and you know what's awesome is if you go to a thrift store and just buy some old janky napkins or any kind of fabric, an old t-shirt, anything that you want to cut up, but I really highly recommend that you stack something in between your pans to take care of them. Are there any other ideas that I missed in terms of taking care of your pans? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, if you like this video and it was helpful, I have more that you can link on, and there's always the red subscribe button. I will see you in my next video, guys. Thanks so much.